today's a special episode because we have ya boy Diversity in Comics on for the first time ever. Finally, we're having more guests on, but it's ya boy John, and we were going to talk about that video you did last night about it was just called like identifying gamma behavior, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
And but it was primarily about identifying gamma behavior in comic book fans, and that's why I actually liked that video, because it was about some fan writing a book about how he had like some minor correspondence one time a bunch of years ago with comic legend Steve Ditko, who was like the co-creator of Spider-Man. And I thought it was really funny is that you like read his first letter and it's like, Spider-Man means so much to me, it's important, and that's just
you can hear through the letter that whiny voice.
Yes,
you really can. You really can.
That's the specific voice the letter was written in, and
it's amazing.
It's quite an incredible phenomenon, but
it's a remarkable achievement.
It's
a remarkable achievement.
Yeah, so he wrote this letter.
His ability to write a letter, and because he had to sit there and think about his letter for days.
Oh yeah,
and just imagine the 5 words he's going to agonize over the words he was going to write to Steve Ditko to ask for his autograph. So,
and you mentioned,
I was wondering myself if the correspondence ended with Ditko just dropping the entire conversation, like, enough of this guy.
Fucking grenade. He was like, I'm done replying to this faggot. I assume that the last person to send a letter was the fan. I don't know, though.
That's why I'm assuming. I don't know.
It was, but Steve Ditko also died, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that tends to be a factor.
He died about 5 years afterwards, and the fan was like, he's probably just thinking of.
But the guy built this as we corresponded over 4 years. So it sounds like this like
10
really
letters over 4 years.
Deep. You're right. There were 9 from Steve Ditko, 10 from him. So it's like you're talking one letter every like 6 months.
Quite an exact measurement. It's 10 from him, 9 from Steve. What's missing? What's wrong with this picture?
So,
somebody has to stop writing eventually.
Yeah.
Steve died. But he made it
sound
like
seconds. He died seconds after receiving the last letter. Yeah.
Open the envelope. Letter from this guy.
Yeah, he didn't even open the envelope. He saw the fucking return address and just collapsed.
I can't do this anymore.
Really
Kangaroo. 40 years. Captain Kangaroo or Mr. Green Jeans killed himself.
Oh my God, Mr. Green Jeans.
Every letter from minute one was from the guy was like arguing with Steve Ditko's politics and arguing that Steve Ditko should care more about fans, etc. And then Steve Ditko just replied back every single time. The comic industry sucks and you all suck, basically.
That's the only value of that book is seeing Steve Ditko fucking trash the comics industry. And it's like, oh, the Steve Ditko book. Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend the book unless you want to see Steve Ditko completely trash someone who deserves it. But
an actual creative type having to reply to one of his dumb fans.
Yeah, it's sad because, a fan, I guess a casual fan, I don't know. The word fan implies fanatic, if that's where it comes from. So it's like you kind of shouldn't have any respect for a fanatic, but somebody who's just like an appreciator or a follower, a subscriber, something like that. It's fine to. I mean, you don't have to insult them or disrespect them out of the gate. But when they come at you, I can't imagine something worse than if I really liked somebody, if I liked their books or their art, just going up and being like, hey, I love your art. Your politics are completely wrong, by the way, because I disagree. Not even here's how they're wrong.
Because I don't understand them.
Yes, I don't understand them or I disagree with them.
A lot of objectivism, whatever. Objectivism?
Yeah, objectivism, which, Steve Ditko
usually tends to be the case, is people just don't understand. I'm not saying that I either fully understand or agree with it.
Or support objectivism.
So many people are like, but so you just hate everyone and think
it's
jealousy is okay and selfishness is okay. And it's like, that's really not what it's
You think it's right for the banks to steal money from people, or this?
Right. Is that BS? Yeah, that's what they usually go into. But Steve Ditko like kind of walked the walk. I mean, he literally just like kind of hobbled out into his like area, and he's like, I'm going to be the best artist I can be and just make what I want to make, and my creation's beautiful to me, and that's what matters. And that, I mean, I appreciate that, and I appreciate that he didn't go and come back and be like, oh well, I guess I'm going to do the Spider-Man revival now. It's like
Spider-Man 2, or
he never sold out.
Number 9.
The big paycheck to bring him back for one last bonus
right
with variant covers.
And unfortunately, nothing he ever did after Spider-Man, or rather after Spider-Man was stolen from him, has ever seen the same success as Spider-Man.
Yeah, because
A equals A will never fucking match the success of the child with the red and blue undies,
right?
Who emulated a spider.
And I assume him walking away from the industry means that a lot of people in the industry were like, well, if he walks away, don't let him back in. Whatever he does independently, we can't let it be. I don't know if that's true. It's my personal conspiracy theory that they might be like, we can't let him be successful anywhere else. Although he went to DC, and we were just saying in the previous stream that he made the question for DC, I think.
And then they ripped him off.
They ripped him off too. Yeah. I mean, that's just the deal.
Exact same thing happened to Jack Kirby. The exact same thing. I mean, it happened to Alan Moore, where he was just at DC, and they fucking. And people try to blame Alan Moore for that, but it's like Alan Moore had a very specific a demand for his creation, which you can criticize Alan Moore for a lot of stuff too. You could say that the characters in Watchmen were just obvious ripoffs of other DC characters. But at least he's still
weird street magician vibe is really tiresome.
It's very cringe. But at the same time, he wrote that comic. It was extremely successful for DC.
It's well written too. I'll say that right up front. I may think he's annoying, but he did a good job on that book.
Yeah, and then DC was like, okay, now we're going to just do whatever we want anyways.
Here comes before Watchmen, and here comes after Watchmen. And
that was so bad, and they were all so bad.
Yeah,
I didn't even attempt to look at them. It's like
I read a couple of before Watchmen.
Even if it's good, I don't care.
Here's the thing: is that
it could be an amazing, stellar.
When you got an Alan Moore working for your company, I personally think it's a great idea not to alienate him and make him want to leave your fucking company for the rest of your life. I mean,
at the same time, like artist types who are like true artists, like he is, are really hard to work with too, because it's like the corporation has a fiduciary responsibility to create their corporate shill bullshit products, and he is a part of that machine, and he kind of has to do his job at the same time, right? And so it's like,
and he did kind of work against that too.
He did 100%, and so of course he's gonna get ostracized out. But it just sucks because it just highlights that the corporate chill product is just garbage.
That's why I always figured, as hard as he probably is to work with, they should have just tried to placate him at least a little more.
That's the best way to make money. That's how. If you want to make the most money, you kind of have to deal with it.
It is, and if you want to make the most money, like, flood the stands with 18 Batman titles a month. That's all you got to do. You don't even who even cares who's writing it? It doesn't even freaking matter. You can have some random guy in the chat, Jeremy Peerboom, writing it right now, and it doesn't even freaking matter.
Pay him an exposure too. Make sure
exactly. Don't even pay him.
Pay him fucking DeviantArt bucks. DeviantArt llama, pay him in DeviantArt llamas
and
crypto coins.
Thirsty dudes who will write books about this in the future will go out and just buy it because it says Batman on it. I need to have it.
Gotta have my Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
This next issue of Batman gives you Ebola
until it falls into the public domain. Then any fan Batman comics they belong to you, and you can just sell them.
This is going to be really soon, by the way.
That's going to be so soon. Whoever does that's going to be a billionaire for sure. That's genius.
I'm excited. I sort of want to fight some of these public domain fights, but I don't want to actually deal with the legal battles.
You're gonna punch, even go to the guys who want to do public domain stuff and start punching them. Yes, I want to do that too.
Take a fucking cricket bat. Take a cricket bat to their fucking.
There's Zorro's going to be public domain soon, and it is kind of technically public domain in some ways. And what else is John Carter of Mars? That Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff is all technically public domain. And but there's still corporations who will sue you if you use those things without their permission. So it's or
if it's too close to the versions they made in this specific book or some shit. He can't throw the shield. The shield can't be round, and he can't throw it.
Right.
That's that was the. I don't know if you ever heard the
SF Debris. SF Debris did a genius sequence of videos about
it was a series of
rise
videos.
and fall of the comic book empire.
Yeah, a great series. It's on
very
YouTube.
well researched and presented.
And he tells a lot of the story of how it was basically starts with the big corporations buying Marvel, and the president saying, "Gentlemen, we now own Superman." And then immediately afterwards was like, no, we own Spider-Man. And the president's like, oh no, we got to back out of this immediately. And that's the fucking late 80s, early 90s or something.
Yeah.
And then
it's something you would think somebody would make as a joke, but that really happened.
Yes, that's how the series starts. And if you look up SF Debris, the rise and fall of the
He's
comic
got it.
empire,
I think it's on YouTube, but most of his
Yes.
videos are also on his site, which are on Bing or something.
If you just not Bing
not
whatever.
Blip, not Bing either.
It's not Blab, it's not Bing, whatever it is. But you can find that series is on YouTube, and it's really good. I recommend it to anyone if you're even remotely interested in comic book drama, because it's about the start of Image. It's about how Rob Liefeld wrote a comic so bad it may have killed a man. That kind of stuff. It's got all sorts of great content.
Killed the guy who helped to keep Captain America in the public consciousness after World War II.
Yeah, he got a free copy, and the guy just drops dead. That's not a joke. That's apparently exactly how it happened. But
we can only speculate if that's exactly how it went down.
There's also the Commander United States ripoff that Rob Liefeld made, and he got sued. And in the lawsuit, they were like, okay, you can keep making this pile of shit, but he can't have a round shield and he can't throw it. They actually had to legally make that stipulation to prevent Rob Liefeld from ripping off too closely to Captain America.
I cannot countenance anyone who defends Rob Liefeld. I mean, you might say that his art's not that bad, but for me, it's just the fact that his writing is so atrocious. And he was successful because of that.
That creates a precedent. Now that's created a precedent where people are like, well, if Rob Liefeld can do it and be a terrible writer, I can do it and be a terrible writer.
Most people are like that. They're like, I have a keyboard that makes me a writer.
And that
we don't need these writers. We've got the best art out there, guys, and we could just make our own indie comics all day long, and it's going to be awesome. We'll make $1 million on a comic.
Not even indie comics. Image Comics was a huge business.
But all of it
was gigantic.
That's the worst thing, though. It's Image Comics and all these other side companies. But then you go to the indies, they have the exact, because they're all fans. All of them are just fans,
specifically of that specific era, which
is the worst era of comic period.
The one that killed it.
Yeah, they call it the Dark Ages for a reason, because it was
not just because they were dark and gritty. It's because it spelled the death of the industry.
Yeah. Anyways, and then Rob Liefeld made that ripoff of Captain America and then just dumped it. You don't see him still trying to be I really believe in this character. My version of Captain America. He's like,
other than Jesus, what characters has he ever made? Deadpool, which was basically made famous without him.
He did
People
Jesus
know about Deadpool
in the Odyssey or something.
I don't mean,
was that what
Tim? Not the Odyssey. It was not the Odyssey. I don't remember. I remember seeing one panel of that. It's like, oh, you drew fucking action hero Jesus. He's climbing down off the cross.
He's getting off the cross, and this time he's gonna fuck shit up.
And they could not manage to get a nail through his feet.
Yeah, that was a pretty good joke that our boy Diversity in Comics made in the last stream on his channel.
I thought Tim Lim said that one.
That was my joke.
Oh,
yeah,
See, I told you about my memory.
It's trademarked now, that joke.
Oh shit!
So.
Yeah, my brother wasn't. My brother wasn't. He was playing Warframe at the time, I think, so he wasn't looking at the stream.
Besides the fact that my notoriously bad memory is notoriously bad.
It's literally worse than the Holocaust.
Happened a couple hours ago, and I already forgot.
As delightful screen star Scarlett Johansson once said, "It's literally worse than the Holocaust."
I disavow. Just to be safe.
Someone in the comments said, SWC, I find you guys to be annoying and entertaining at the same time, so you get the likes and shit.
Gee, thanks a lot, Boomer Moose. Thanks a lot, Boomer Moose.
Here, Boomer Moose. Okay. The Pocket Jacks comic says Watchmen was written using characters that DC had acquired. Oh, yeah, from, that's right, from Charlton. Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle became Night Owl 2 or something.
Marvel used to be known as Timely Comics or something.
Yeah, just all the names.
I can barely follow that crap.
Punctual Comics. What kind of name is that for your company?
What the hell? You know what's it's a terrible.
It's definitely not Comicsgate. I can tell you that.
Yeah, exactly.
They couldn't even think of to call their comic book company Comicsgate. Those plebs.
Yeah, why did they do that? Why don't they fucking name
you know what the great name for a comic book company? All Caps Comics.
That's so
Delgato Comics.
Those are the most fly-by-night names for fucking... I have comics in this short box over here that has, these comic names that are just...
I'm trying to remember them. The names of the companies.
I've forgotten them. I've blocked them out of my memory. The box is right here. It's like 3 feet over to my left.
One that's not Marvel or DC.
And I'm not going to reach over and start flipping through to see who. Yeah, Continuity Comics. That was another one.
That was one of them. One of the big '80s publishers.
But they did publish Cyber Rad in the early '90s. They published a comic called Cyber Rad that was really cool, actually. And
it's
like
pure '80s. It's like exactly what you would expect from. It's like a modern remake, like that.
A modern parody of '80s shit. It's like what was it, Turbo Laser Kid or something?
Laser Kid, whatever that movie was, which is just '80s cheese, a love letter to the '80s and the fucking just the aesthetic.
Yeah, and that's what Cyber Rad looked like, but it was actually made in that time. So, and then I was like, okay, any other issue of Cyber Rad I see, I am buying it. I was saying this like a couple of years ago, just going through the local comic stores and giant fucking long boxes, and then I saw another one called Cyber Frog, and I was like, oh shit, is this gonna be like Cyber Rad? And I buy it. Of course, because of the name recognition of Cyber Rad by Continuity Comics.
Congratulations on carrying off the coattails
of Cyber Rad. But I read that and it's like, no, this is not even remotely as good as Cyber Rad #2. So it was
better than GI Mutants, I guess.
Yeah, no, you know what? I would say GI Mutants better than Cyber Frog also. GI Mutants, which is GI Joe meets the X-Men. Really original idea back in the 80s. Apparently, some people think it's not original enough that they can just fucking do it their own selves over and over again. But we're going to talk about Steve Ditko, though, at least for a little bit longer, because that fan guy who you actually mentioned in that video where he included a picture of Spider-Man, a drawing of Spider-Man, and he's like, "Hey, can you sign this?" And Steve Ditko was like, I didn't
even draw that. That was somebody else's drawing, right?
Well, I think actually it might. What he said, he didn't say it was someone else's drawing. He said that Spider-Man belongs to Marvel, so it might have been his drawing. But what his point is that all the
it was not his drawing of. It was somebody else's drawing of Spider-Man that he wanted him to sign. Also, it was like
confirmed.
It was a combo that dumb. Yeah,
my theory was
surprise me.
That would be so stupid. There's no way that would be true.
I can't accept that answer.
Yes, exactly. I refuse.
By the way, I will sign all copies of Cyberfrog that you bring to me at Wizard World Bay Area. I don't care.
What about your first comic?
Diversity in comics author
of
promising
Cyberfrog. Yeah. What about
Cyberfrog.
the other comics you did, like Jawbreakers, Lost Souls, and stuff?
I'll sign all those too, for sure.
Awesome.
You know what? I will too. I'll do it for free.
Absolutely for free.
I will not even charge $1.
I'll pay you. I'll pay you money.
I'll pay you
to let me sign it.
Not a lot of money, though.
That's what life is like as a writer.
That's the reality of a writer.
I'll give you money for the opportunity.
Cyberfrog did have a sketch cover on it. Like it's got like a sketch thing below the cover. So I did draw an original sketch and put it up on eBay, and it sold for $51. So, if you didn't see that,
I'm sure that's better than
helping to offset the cost of having to sink money into that.
I called it the special 1-of-1 limited edition male anatomy variant.
I mean, it is. That is what it is. Yeah. But yeah, we were also talking about before the stream is that, like, in order to, like, for a writer to make comics, you essentially
that said, "Oh, I'll hook you up with some artists. I know some artists," and it's like, "Oh, they'll work for free." No,
and they shouldn't. Here's the thing: an artist shouldn't work for free.
I understand that.
A writer for comics can't even work for anything. Exposure. No, they can't work for exposure because they have to pay to work for exposure. So it's the exact opposite. It's going into the negative numbers.
Well, my brother had to do himself, and again, I understand
sinking into debt just to make a comic or something.
It's 100%. I have to run. I'm running my comic business writing right now. I mean, my Kickstarters look like they're hot and all that, but I'm running just this year $18,000 in the negative just because I'm trying to prep all my art and stuff for next year. And
yeah, exactly.
That's all it is. It just sucks.
Tim was mentioning
not
that
being
too.
Able to draw,
the profits for his comics over the past year have been, not to trash him or anything, and I'm sure people are like, yeah, we told you could joke. But the profits kind of equal to about zero. They're not zero. He's made money. Him and Nick. No, it's Mark. I really spaced out, but Mark Pellegrini, both of them together made they made a profit, but it's like it's that much removed from just being in debt. And
does Mark have to pay Tim Lim to do the art?
No, Mark's got the streaming deal with Tim. It's not fair.
Yeah. See.
Yeah,
this is something we have been noticing since we did Shitty Web Comics all the way back in 2012, 2013. Is we started the blog with another guy, Cool Mod, who could actually draw, and he started drawing Princess High Ground, and we started getting major heat, just huge amounts of attention because suddenly we had our own comic, and it
wasn't ours. It was his. It was entirely his. But it was on the blog that I started. That's the important thing.
I found it impossible to get into the webcomic community, especially. I tried, and
I would say don't get into the community.
It was impossible because it's just still make your own. Oh, you don't draw your own. We don't care, and it's like, oh well, fuck you too. I write better stories than all of you. So
which they don't accept. Maybe not better than Chelsea Trolled, but still.
We start the blog with him. And then we started getting asks, basically messaging us every other day, being like, "You need to stop posting and let Cool Mod post whatever he wants."
Yeah, because essentially that's what happened with Ethan Van Sciver. Is if somebody can draw, people assume that they're correct about whatever they say,
and they also automatically assume that they're a great artist.
So that's why they also assume you're a great writer. So if somebody can draw at all, they automatically are assumed to be a great writer by the comics fandom, which is why
it's obnoxious.
Why it is indeed true. They are all gammas for sure. They're definitely it's very apt. It is an apt description.
Going to turn green.
Collective.
Turn green and become Super Bara Hulk out beast mode.
Yes,
they're so gamma.
They've absorbed too much gamma radiation.
The metaphor works on that level too. But
it is
nerd rage that they
nerd. Yeah, it's only over the internet. It's not physically, of course. They're not going to exercise and actually get
until they get a gun and shoot up a Comic-Con or something.
Which somebody in War Campaign will eventually do someday for real. FBI, please get on this. But unironically, not in Minecraft, not a joke. But anyways, my point is that it is like the comic book community, the fandom, collectively the community. The webcomic community sucks a dick too, but the print comics community,
it's worse.
It might be the worst fandom, like worse maybe than the Steven Universe fandom. That's hard to quantify. It's hard to quantify which puddle of dirt is closer to the ground than another one.
The puddles of AIDS.
Puddle of AIDS.
Puddle of AIDS.
Slipping, tripping, falling into it comically. Puddles of AIDS don't exist. That had to be explained to somebody. Puddles of AIDS aren't funny. They don't exist. But,
yeah. Well, I'm sure there will be like 20 tweets after this that are in all caps that say, JDA says comic fans are toxic. He's talking about his customers.
It's insulting the customer community.
That's what I am. I am insulting. I'm insulting my customers.
I am doing that.
Your customers.
Fuck you, customers.
They're fucking jerk-offs.
But it's like, again, the book's called Regards Ditko. Like that's how he signed off his letters. And it's basically about a typical comic book fan who starts trying, they try to open communication, some pen pal stuff with Steve Ditko, and immediately are hostile to him. Yeah. And then they expect to be respected and why aren't you respecting me? I'm the customer.
All of his views, like he owes him. He's obligated to explain.
And that's exactly why won't you draw things that customers like now, like Spider-Man? You owe it to us.
Yeah, you owe us, the fan, to draw Spider-Man, and to sign
I'm not allowed to. That's why.
And to sign this other drawing of Spider-Man by somebody else. That was another point, though, is that my theory was, because here's the thing: if you you're an artist in the Marvel offices in 1970 and you do a doodle of Spider-Man on a napkin, that belongs to Marvel. You can't take that home and sell that. And that was something that really got under Jack Kirby's skin, was like, all the art I've done, I can't keep it. They keep it. I can't do anything. I can't sell it to fans. I can't give it away to fans. I can't do anything with it.
I don't know what his royalties look like. We were actually speculating on that. How much
I would love to know.
Made in royalties?
Yeah, because Ditko was like living in a hotel room or something for like 30 years. He went like full Howard
Hughes,
Howard Stern. Oh, Howard Hughes. I'm embarrassed to say I'm not even going to accidentally say Howard Stark.
But at the same time, he had like a really modest life where he just like holed up in there and didn't do anything. So it's
I'd like to do that. That sounds great.
Well, I can imagine he had to, because they probably screwed him out of everything.
True. Yeah.
And that's tragic, but it's like, where did he get money at that point? Was it from the comics he was making afterwards? Was he getting royalties? Because as far as I know, a lot of them just
of royalties.
Well, I've done some research on this. Yeah, so I don't think he did. I think there was probably a settlement at some point over the Spider-Man character that he probably lived off of. I mean, I'm just going to guess, because this seems to have happened. There seems to be hush money that happens to these comic guys at some point where they kind of go away.
Every single one of them, though, the guys who made Superman,
Siegel and Schuster sold Superman for like $100, and they had to beg just for work, and it was, I think,
it's so sad.
They were dying, and when the Superman movie was coming out,
the whole industry was like that,
and it still is,
and still defend it,
and it still is. That's the shitty part.
The fans defend it and attack the creators.
Yeah,
that's why I still want to give some credit to Alan Moore, but like more goes to Steve Ditko, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, like I said, this guy really walked the walk and did his objectivist thing and didn't care. And I've looked up his stuff. I mean, he was making comics till the day he died. And what would happen? I mean, he wouldn't be published by anybody. There was just this lady in Washington who would like basically print it on printer paper and run Kickstarters. And Steve Ditko would make like $3,000 or $5,000 off of it, and that's it. Like, I mean, his Kickstarters are making less than mine. And I mean, no offense, like to me, but like, I mean, my Kickstarters do not deserve to make money more than Steve Ditko. That's insane.
Yes, Steve. I mean, compared to Steve Ditko, and like Dave Sim is in the same situation. Dave Sim is making videos on YouTube every week, and I think we have about as many followers. We have as many subscribers as he does.
I think we actually get more views.
He'll talk openly. You can call his house in real life and like leave a message and be like, oh, what? But he's talked constantly. I mean, there's one thing that kind of handicapped his Cerebus comics was he would just start writing giant essays in them.
Right.
And
Ditka would do the same in these later comics too. It's kind of the same deal. Yeah.
Because they had more points to get across than they could get in the comic. But
we actually transcribed, like, I think it was part of one of his.
I think it was the whole thing from like 1995, an issue of Cerebus, where he talks about how video games are about to eat the entire comics industry's lunch, and
he was right.
And he was saying the industry's about to collapse if they can't compete, and then the industry collapsed
because they couldn't compete. He was completely right on.
And I've actually mentioned that, like, to Comicsgate people, like last year even, or in 2017, I was like, why do you want to go back to the 90s? That's when the comics industry collapsed and died, and it was a lot of it was because of the speculator market.
Besides that,
the Marvel and DC artists, or the former Marvel and DC artists, of course, want to go back to that, because that's when the artists became celebrities and became like people to worship and all that. So of course, that's like their entire intention is to just like recapture that for themselves. It's a let's go back to the glory days, guys. Let's when I was
it was about the sales. They're looking at the sales figures, but only for like the first few years of the 90s.
Right.
And they seem to be ignoring something that happens a little later directly as a result of those big sales. And it's like, this is your medium, though. You are the fans of the comics, and you don't know this? I'm not even a fan of fucking cape shit superhero anything, and I know this more. Why do I know this more than you? It's your comics movement.
We've been looking to try and get.
And they would just get mad. They would be like, "You don't even know what to speculate."
We want to.
I don't think you know what that word means.
And now we're like, do we really want to be part of this industry at all?
Yeah, it makes you want to go full Nasser.
It'd be smarter to Nasser out at this point.
Yes, so just go Nasser.
I don't like books. I don't like reading.
I don't like
reading so much.
I don't like jazz. I don't like
classic. But yeah, that's the thing is, I think that's what Nasser's moved on to, is he's writing novels.
And, he's writing novels and just putting them on Amazon.
Which is where my primary business is too, and it works really well for me. So
might as well give a nice plug for Diversity in Comics' latest novels or novel series. What are they called?
Thank you. My latest novel is Justified by John Delarose, and it is Dave's Vault.
Ya boy, John Delarose.
Ya boy. It's just Dave's Vault in space. So if you just want like fucking laser swords and slaying heathens and shit, that's the book for you.
Some nice dirt worshipping heathens getting put to the laser sword.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
To the laser sword.
Yes,
degenerates like them belong on.
I haven't done any
laser cross.
Laser cross. I haven't done any burning witches yet, but I should probably do that in the next book. So
that makes perfect sense.
And the witches will just be sluts. They'll be Tinder thoughts.
Tinder thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah. In a sci-fi world, the witches are like Tinder thoughts or Twitch thoughts.
Twitch thoughts. Yeah, definitely.
Subscribe to my premium Snapchat account.
She could taste your password through your dick.
Yes.
Oh, Sam in the chat wants everybody to buy The Stars Entwined. That's my my first science fiction novel, and it doesn't sell as well as my others, and I don't know why. I think it's good, so I think people are stupid. But oh shit, I just insulted the customers again.
Stupid piece of shit customers. We don't want to insult these fucking assholes.
I'll never understand why some things become popular and some things
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the stuff that gets turned into a meme is usually like the most laziest throwaway thing. It's like, no, why is this become popular? All the stuff I worked the hardest on gets ignored, and then here's a picture I stole from someone else off the internet, and all of a sudden it gets like a billion reblogs, tweets, fucking.
It's really ridiculous. Yeah. But good book, and I don't know if it's getting close to selling 1,000 copies at this point, which is like my lowest performer. I really don't get it, but once it gets over 1,000, I guess that there's enough that I'll write a sequel. So that's why Sam wants to push this, because he wants
that one about.
So this one is about a spy who genetically modifies himself to become an alien to spy, but he ends up falling in love with alien starship commander, and so he's got torn loyalties and has to decide whether to save Earth from this alien invasion or to just go full alien and bang this chick.
It's genetically modifying himself. Grody, some body horror or something, or maybe
not. No, I don't go into weird. I don't go into weird, grotesque description shit. Yeah. I don't deal with that. I'm anti-dark fiction, whatever that is.
It's a novel, so it can be nice. Nice
Prison Battleship isn't
nice and clean. My alien girl's hot.
Prison Battleship. Oh no, is that going to be some kind of fucking hentai?
Yes,
it's going to be one of your doujin. Oh, I guess correctly.
Yeah.
You also have Flying Sparks.
Flying
Sparks.
Flying
your
Sparks.
Comics.
I have comic books too.
We have to
begging us to roast it.
You roast it. Roast it. I know you hate cape shit. It's total cape shit. Total cape shit.
Here's the review. Here's the roast. I'm not going to read it. There. How do you like the review? There's a whole review right there. We're going to read at some point, but I cannot promise we'll even have anything to say about it. We'll do a video, but
my time is already spoken for. I still have to replay Grand Theft Auto 4.
That's true.
Even though it sucks.
It's one of my least favorite Grand Theft Auto games, and yet people inexplicably love it. And I'm like, why do you love this game? It's really a very weak version of the
city. The city layout kind of sucks. The missions are all really boring. The missions are
the parts of GTA games I usually love, and 4 just has really bad missions.
The worst missions, because in GTA 4, it's like the mission is kill this guy, chase him down and kill him. The guy's invincible until like enough of these set pieces have gone by, and it's like, wow, this is really fucking lame. So
annoyed the shit out of me. And
you're going to do that. We're going to do that instead of reading Flying Sparks or even Stardust.
After that gets done, you realize.
Yes.
The queue.
Yeah, there's a list, a randomized list. Maybe it'll get shuffled around.
And believe me, there's no order to this list. It's just random bullshit. I might feel like I want to go and get a package of meat from the store and experiment with cooking it, fuck it up, and then try to eat it, not be able to eat it. All this is going to take more of my time.
Yeah, well, we'll be doing that instead of reading Stardust Sparks. Stardust
Sparks. That's going to be our crossover. Yeah.
That was mentioned earlier. Is that I think I threw that on the screen, was a crossover between Jawbreakers and Cyberfrog and some other dumb shit. Fucking, I guess that you might as well do that as your career is about to go down the toilet.
Now that you own the copyright, you officially own the copyright.
Let's solidify the base, right?
Yes.
I guess.
Well, they have to, because now they're not even making enough sales to justify their existence. Just of the current shit they're doing. Fucking
who cares?
Jawbreakers 2 didn't even make half as much as the last one.
One successful Kickstarter or fucking Patreon or Indiegogo, and you don't need to be successful at all. You just take that money and run.
Yeah, you don't even need to finish the comic or release it or release part of it to some people.
Shit out the poorest quality version and then tell people there's nothing wrong with it. Just put it between some books.
Isn't that the model? Isn't that the model of video games nowadays, though? And then you just have to buy the downloadable content later.
Yeah, except
the
for video games,
content actually serves a purpose and can be high quality.
I'm looking for
there's indie creators out there who
share
are
screen
solo creating. And that's the thing. I wish I could get into video game development, but I can't code. I can't do math.
That out.
I cannot fucking handle math. Oh, that's like an organization now. It's like
trying to share.
It's an upside down pyramid.
Yeah. Here we go. I was looking at this because before we get into this, though, one last thing. My theory was that he sent a picture that Steve Ditko did of Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's. I mean, Steve Ditko's point was, and we did go over this anyways, but Steve Ditko's point was he doesn't own Spider-Man, and he doesn't own any of the art he did for Spider-Man. It's a corporate property that doesn't belong to him, doesn't belong to anyone.
And therefore he hates it. And that's a valid reason to hate it.
Right, yeah, rightfully so. And it is pretty... The thing is, I can understand not understanding how insulting it is, but it is insulting to say, like, hey, here's a character they stole from you and basically chased you out of the internet. He almost went Nasser, I can imagine, except that you can tell Steve Ditko. There's something about Steve Ditko where he can't get off. He just loves comics too much. He loves the medium itself too much. Not the fans, not the companies, not Spider-Man, not Marvel or DC.
And I think
comics.
that should be the measure of whether somebody's a true artist or not, almost, or a hack. It's like, if there's nobody there to read it, would you still be writing or drawing the comic anyway? Would you be sitting there creating for the sake of creating? If the answer is no, you're probably a hack.
Yeah, and you shouldn't even be making comics. But of course, those are the people who are not only making comics, but getting the victim bucks and crying like, "Oh, they're persecuting us, so I need all your money," and
they attack. Well, they attack,
spinning out desperately,
us. And then they're like and then we're like, "Hey, you're wrong," and they're like, "They're attacking us."
The biggest lol cows on the internet right now are in Comicsgate. There's no getting around it. It's unavoidable.
And yet nobody's really covering that. The people who should be covering this shit aren't covering it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like their jobs or their hobbies or something, to go after the juiciest drama or whatever the fuck it is, and they're just ignoring it. How come they're doing that? I don't know. I can't speak for them. And
I'd name names, but I've already forgotten their names again.
Yes. But the other thing we wanted to talk about was Comics Matter with ya boy Zach. This soon to be unrelated, soon to be sued out of existence by Comics Don't Matter with ya boy Diversity in Comics.
Yeah, Comics Don't Matter, and that's the theme of my channel.
And that's you're about to rename it so that you can trademark it and then sue your boy Zach. You're going to spend $8,000 to get your boy Zach
$8,000 because I don't want the alt-right in my deal. And I heard he was at Charlottesville from someone.
$6 million.
He was in Charlottesville.
To be honest,
all over his car.
That sounds like complete horseshit that he went to Charlottesville just to buy comics on the day of the rally. That sounds like he went to the rally. And then he was like, "Oh, somebody died? Well, yeah, I was just there to buy comics." It's just, I think he was there to go to the rally.
I don't know, and I can't say funny. For sure. I just don't care enough to research it, and it's too funny. The overreaction to that and flipping out no, I would never is the thing that just makes me laugh.
Why even say that you were in the city?
It was like when Rocco was running for dog catcher. Is Rocco responsible for the Titanic? We don't know. You have to decide that for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the best.
Yes.
Rocco's Modern Life, very underrated show.
Yes. The original.
Did you see? Yeah, I was gonna say, did you see the new one? Because I didn't even laugh during that once.
No,
I heard that it was just.
Yeah, that makes me really sad. That it's a show I would love to have back on, and then as it's coming back, it's like, don't watch it. It's going to be terrible. It's like, what?
It's like they have 5 women writing it. It's like, okay, no, I'm out.
Yeah,
but with psychology majors, just like
Rick and Morty. Yeah, but
Morty season 3. It's like we have 50% female writers, and they all have psychology. None of them majored in film school, art, design, writing,
being
or
funny,
or anything,
being interesting, holding a conversation. But at least Enter the Florpus was good. That was actually that kind of makes up for it, I guess.
Not really, but
at least I could enjoy that while not enjoying not even watching the Rockers Modern Life revival.
Ignoring.
Yeah, I enjoyed Enter the Florpus quite a bit.
It was just fun. It was just fun.
Yeah. I was just very happy, and I'm like, this is what I wanted.
At no point did they stop the story to tell me that I need to be feeling sorry for people who have gender dysphoria.
Yeah, fuck that. But so that wraps up our conversation about Steve Ditko, I guess. But that
was exciting.
Yes.
We said 5 words about him.
Yeah, we got a little bit.
Unfortunately, I have read very little of his work. I think at the
Mr. A comics they're kind of weird in a way too, because they're they seem to be more about getting the point across almost than telling a story, but he still knows how to tell a story. It's a lot of the sort of philosophy.
Pick up Creepy Archives. That's the one I'm going to recommend. It's Creepy Archives, Steve Ditko, and it's all of his work he did for Creepy. They're just short horror comics, and it's just that is really his finest work right there. So
we have an issue. I think we have. Was it one of his issues of the question?
No, it was just an issue of the question with Denny O'Neil. I think.
It's like I tried to read it while I skimmed it, and I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, and then we threw it.
I could not figure it out.
It's one of those classic Denny O'Neil issues of the question, and we threw it in the garbage afterwards. Not because we hate it. We just if I read a comic book and it's not like, oh, either I didn't spend a lot of money on it or it's got to really blast me out of bed at 4 a.m, I just throw it in the garbage. Or it's got to have some kind of weird value to it, like it's a weird 80s self-published comic about furries from the 80s.
That one was from the 80s, though, I'm pretty sure, or like early.
Yeah, the question was from the 80s. But yeah, it's kind of sad to think that oh, you know what? Somebody else mentioned in your stream, Diversity in Comics, in that Diversity in Comics stream that we were just in.
Official Diversity in Comics channel.
Yes. You can only find it by searching for Diversity in Comics. Actually, it doesn't. When I search for Diversity in Comics, no, for me it doesn't, which is sad, but it's like, hey, this is what I'm looking for.
Oh, it doesn't come up. Oh, I do. So Zach does come up first. Which
he comes up first, which I guess there is a reason for that, though.
I guess. And then there's like a latest comics. So they've got latest from him, and then I'm right below that, so people could see it right there.
I mean, that might change in time if you actually keep that name long enough. It'll probably start changing out.
Oh, it will. I'm gonna SEO all this shit, and then it's gonna be over. It's gonna be great.
It's fucking just because of how it pisses people off. That's really my only incentive for being in favor.
That is my only incentive to do it, because it doesn't even make sense that people are pissed off. It's literally the dumbest reason to be mad of all time.
He gave up the name. It was his idea to give up that name.
If he's going to go around defending the Star Wars prequels and Gods of Egypt, he kind of deserves it.
Yeah, he does. He does deserve it. And that was one last thing, though. Yeah, in your chat like an hour ago, somebody mentions that ya boy Zach slammed Jack Kirby's drawing table. He's like, "Oh, it's filthy. That's disgusting." And it's like, you've never been a real artist then, because sometimes the point of sitting down and doing the artwork and focusing is having familiar stuff that you're comfortable with. So even if it's an old drawing table that has like grime and like finger grease and sebum all over it, sometimes that's what you need to be comfortable. And that's how artists work. And if you're Richard C. Meyer, you're never going to understand that, because you're Richard C. Meyer. You're just a fucking dolt.
Believe me, I understand. Sometimes, just get in the zone and I forget to clean shit around me.
Yeah.
I put off cleaning shit for a little while.
My fingers are all grimy now just from sitting here without washing my hands.
I'll boil my hands in the sink every...
Yeah, but that's, that's part of, being comfortable, being familiar with your environment. Sometimes it means using the same old desk that you have made many, many comics on in the past. You getting texts or something?
I always get phone calls. It's just the deal. So
just constantly. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually surrounded by people who want to call you. What the fuck?
Yeah, we don't have that stupid problem.
Yeah, it's just because I have work to do. People don't just want to talk to me to talk. So
that's even worse.
I know.
So glad we don't have friends in real life. Anyways,
what's the other image we're supposed to be looking at? I'm just looking at the stream, our own stream, in the preview image of the stream.
Isn't that great? I actually like it. I think you should put a preview image inside a preview image inside a preview image.
Wait, is that all that's sharing? Is it sharing the?
Oh yeah, no, it's not sharing anything else.
It's not sharing the other. That's what I'm looking at right now. What is screen sharing is the Comics Matter with your boy Zach video. That's what's in the fucking thing. It's not showing
me StreamYard. Will you our StreamYard.com?
I just see Nasser. It's a sign because it says Nasser did the smart thing.
I mean, that is true. Well, wait. Yeah, that's part of the shared comment. So
that was also all that was displaying in the preview.
Yeah, that's not supposed to be showing up at the stupid preview. Ugh. Hold on, let me try one more time. But yeah, I think screen sharing is broken. I think it's broken already.
Well, also,
I fucking broke screen sharing.
Screen share videos or flash.
Here, is it showing?
Items,
is it showing the other thing? No, it's not. It's frozen. It's frozen up again.
No,
but it's showing my cursor moving. That is weird. Because I'm switching to this other tab.
You know what? The cursor moving too. Yeah,
I see it. So what are you looking for? What are you
I'm trying to screen share just another tab in Firefox of Richard C. Myers' Comics Matter with your boy Zach, where his latest video is called "The Demon Ethan Van Sciver," like him trying to. Oh, that's funny, Zach, trying to make fun of how people are just complaining about Ethan Van Sciver.
All right, so I'll pull this up on my screen and screen share it.
It's an obfuscation
do you want me to do anything with this?
I don't know. Yeah, if you could just bring it up. Let's see.
There it is.
Yeah, I just wanted to show that it exists, that the video exists.
Look at this. Look at this stupid lukewarm tweet. And apparently this is the big problem with Ethan Van Sciver now, apparently.
This is their straw man. This is their straw man enemy, where like, oh, the SJWs are saying these things. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, where they don't want to admit, where Richard probably isn't even kept up to speed with this. Richard probably has no idea who Ethan is really pissed off at, and who the comics guy.
We know though.
Yeah, we know who they're fucking pissed off at. They're pissed off at us. They're panties pissing terrified of us. Their little yellow sundresses stained with tears.
Panties all in a wad.
All these guys do is cry about us. It's so bizarre. Like it's like I'll sit here. It was like probably 3-4 months.
The human
just zero about me. and I was just doing my thing, making books, and then suddenly my new novel hits #1 bestseller, and it's going crazy. And suddenly all these guys start tweeting about me again, start calling me all these names. And it's just like you guys like just get lives. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, don't you have comics to make? Oh, do you have comics to not make? I guess.
I mean, his whole video, his own channel is predicated on rage against Star Wars. Is just mad about Star Wars.
Ethan built. Well, I think Ethan's actual fan base came from purchased follows. I think that he just bought a bunch of subscribers, but then also
they'll be implying that he wasn't cheap as shit.
He cashed in on the Star Wars outrage, but then really that's how Richard started too, was cashing in on comics outrage.
Right.
And really kind of manufacturing a lot of it, because then he would just get upset. Like, he's like, oh, you got to stay off Twitter. There's too much stupid drama. But then so many of his videos are, did you see what this guy, and that's what that video was right there in the screen sharing. Oh, you scrolled off. But that latest video.
I mean, if you look too, like if you look at the video counts, it works though.
Yeah, it's working for them, but I mean, who are they appealing to? What? They're appealing to these kind of awkward nerds.
It doesn't seem like it's going to keep making them money. I don't see how it will keep succeeding in helping them to fund original content.
Here, wait, where do you screen sharing now? Oh, yeah.
I've got this right here, and I just want to show that, like, look, there's the SJWs that gets the most views.
Yeah, more tweets.
So
just tweet that, right? And tweets.
SJW tweets, and then tweets get the most views. Then when he actually talks about comics, look at it, it's like half.
Yeah, drops off a cliff.
Because
nobody cares about
comics. Comics don't matter. What the takeaway is.
That's why I subscribed to him, because I just wanted to kind of see the drama about it. But when it came to his opinions on comics, it's like, oh, this guy's retarded. This guy doesn't know anything. He's not interesting. He's not funny. He doesn't have
Rob Liefeld.
He doesn't have any taste.
The man who killed the industry.
He can only complain. He can't critique. He's a typical nerd.
There's this, there's that, and then look, it's buzzwords too. So look, the word SJWs gets in this one, so he gets 10K views.
Probably
that's stupid. I'm just gonna start titling all of my videos. I'm gonna review this Art of Steve Ditko book, and I'm gonna call it Art of Steve Ditko SJWs Comicsgate.
Trigger warning.
Yeah. Trigger warning.
Throwing all the buzzwords. Triggers problematic.
Problematic.
Then everybody will watch my Steve Ditko book review, which will just be a nice review.
It will just be a completely normal review. That's one thing, is that your boy Zach can't review anything. He's never actually reviewed anything.
I think he's lost more subscribers. I'm pretty sure he had more than
at least plateaued. He's plateaued.
I'm pretty sure he had more than 102K last time I checked, and that was last month. He had like 114K or something. I think.
No, that's Ethan. That's Ethan. But Ethan's starting to lose followers too.
I think Ethan has more than that.
Maybe, but Ethan's losing followers and Richard has plateaued hard. The thing about plateauing is that you've essentially lost you've essentially lost all of your followers because
I would love to plateau at 102K subscribers. Though.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, you might as well save up money and go buy some subscribers like Ethan probably did allegedly.
I don't want to do that.
No, that would be moss gay. But that's a different language. I think that's Japanese or something.
So yeah, fucking Star Trek Picard in the related tabs.
Yes,
I don't know if I want to even try to look forward to that.
That was one of the recent Diversity in Comics videos. Was named Star Trek Picard Joker and all this other shit, and then the video was nothing about any of that.
I can't wait to see him with starship hands, though.
Still can't.
He's going to punch the Borg ship. The Borg ship is going to be as big as a star. It's going to be as big as the sun, and Picard is going to punch the Borg ship with starship hands.
Kind of like to see that, but anyways, the white knighting that Richard does, we don't know why. It's hard to speculate because they'll never be able to. Like Richard, Comicsgate, Toilet Campaign, Ethan, none of them can admit. None of them are human being enough to admit why. But Richard is white knighting for Ethan, and it's not because they're friends. There's something else under the surface that I can't even speculate because I don't know what it is. It could be a million things.
I have no idea. Yeah,
and I'm sure Richard
sinister.
Richard thinks that Ethan is his friend, but you know that you could tell that they're not. But the thing is, Richard openly acts like Ethan hasn't done anything, and they're like, oh, they're acting like Ethan is so evil, and saying shit like, well, what is it on the Discord? Somebody says you might need to listen to that recent video of Richard that stopped to comment. It's pretty bad. He's saying that if you're upset with EVS, you need to go into therapy. This is someone who's made 100 videos about Mags Visaggio. Yeah. There's something about Richard that is mentally unstable in a way that nobody seems to really
can't even call him
hold him accountable. You can't be stupid.
These are all just gammas, guys. That's all it is.
There's that, but it's like people don't hold Richard accountable for his actual words and deeds. They just are like, oh, well, Richard's at least honest. Maybe he's just getting played by Ethan, but it's not that. It's worse than that. But I'm not saying that means Richard's smarter. He's definitely not. He's an abject retard, sub 70 IQ moron.
It's like a really evil version of Mice and Men.
Yes. But let's see, what was some of the other stuff? He said that if Ethan says he isn't joking about something, he's really just joking, and him saying he's not joking is part of the joke. Again, this is how Richard C. Meyer white knights for a complete sociopath who has gone back and forth many times. Like, for example, here's this tweet on screen of him saying, we got evidence some of the war campaign were plotting to dox their enemies and further evidence. He's basically like saying, here, your fuck war campaign, you're all fucked. And the evidence that they're like working to dox people and that kind of shit. And the thing is, this is also the same Ethan who says, war campaign hasn't done anything wrong. Hail war campaign. They're okay guys. There's nothing wrong with it. And then, we made a
war campaign in a bunch of his videos.
Yeah, they're in his videos all the time.
Used like war campaign undeniably to attack competition.
He isn't even honestly like distancing himself from them because they're showing up in all of his streams. And then whenever they get caught doing something, he's like, these pieces of shit, I hate them. I have nothing to do with them. And then they're on his stream again. It's like, I made up with them. Those guys are okay. And then, as mentioned elsewhere, is that one of the war campaign guys was questioned by the police recently, allegedly on his wedding day. Now, your boy, John, you were saying that you doubt that it was on his wedding day, though.
He's not that much of a genetic success.
Yes, exactly.
Possibly not true.
Married. Yeah. The theory that it was a pillow that he was getting married to, if anything.
Not even of an anime character, but probably of a 3D pig.
Or just a blank pillow. You can use your imagination.
Completely blank, featureless, Not even the Dakimakura, whatever.
But yeah, I think who was it? Because I don't even know I just know War Campaign. They intentionally, willingly use the toilet emoji in their names for some reason. That seems really stupid.
That was the hilarious part. It was almost prophetic.
Yeah, but I don't really know. I know here's Ro, who one of them's like a former cop. Who my theory is he got fired for inappropriate frisking of minors. But as far as
whipping minorities for no good reason,
some guy who had like Star Wars toys as his profile pic was questioned by the police because essentially for what they actually do and what there's screenshots of them showing, and they're directly tied with Ethan, and with these direct ties to Ethan. What does Richard have to say about it? Nobody really asks him about it, but he never says anything about Ethan's not even suspicious ties, but direct connection to what you called a haranguement squad.
That's what their fucking team is.
Yeah, you can't
haranguement. Can't even call them a harassment squad.
No, they don't even rise to that level. But the thing is, that's still them getting people flagged. Like they chased off Nurkish. And Richard doesn't seem to say anything about it. He doesn't even seem to admit that ever happened. He just blanks it out of his memory. And it's like, hey, Richard, aren't you supposed to be like the honest guy? Even people who just supposedly left Comicsgate. Yeah, the hot dog salesman. Like people who left Comicsgate, they say, this. I don't know. That wasn't me. Well, what's going on?
Not me.
I don't know. I got a weird beat.
Oh,
not it.
But like people who left Comicsgate, or they're like, oh, I'm done with Comicsgate. Comicsgate's over, and I don't believe it anymore. They still give Richard a lot of credit, and I don't know why, because Richard is just as complicit in all of it. In the worst parts of whatever the worst part you can imagine about Comicsgate, Richard is right there, complicit. He doesn't deserve any respect, or he doesn't deserve any slack for you thinking that he's disconnected. He's just as guilty as all the rest of them, but he's either playing stupid or he actually is that stupid. If he's playing stupid, he's still that stupid anyways, just for playing that stupid. Let's see.
And end up burning out the fucking industry doing all this dumb shit.
Yeah, this is
claiming that they're saving the industry too. That's the part that
bad.
Really kind of chafes my walnuts.
And this is another thing, is that again, like Best Friend, they were marching down the street, and the fat guys in the little coats are marching down the street with Cecil behind him, and Cecil, here, this tweet from 2018, flat out just blaming Nurkish and whining about Nurkish. And it's like, so this guy is friends with Ethan just like you are, Richard, and you're gonna white knight for Richard, and you're just gonna you can just sell all your former friends down the river and act like you never knew them, you were never friends with them or something. He's weirdly evasive.
Wasn't fucking Richard was the guy who would just Nurkish would text him something about just about anything, and Richard would just simply reply with faggot for no reason.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, what about this? And Richard would just go faggot. And he was acting like that was just him being funny, but it's really him.
Really a roast god.
Yeah, that's Richard thinking, yeah, I'm a roast master, you guys. And then these weird lies that he was constantly getting caught in. Ethan's constantly getting caught in lies. These are just some of the examples from last year of Ethan flat out accusing Renfamus of doxing Nurkish. And Renfamus is like, I've never even come close. And of course they would deny it, but that's what makes the SJWs the perfect straw man for Ethan and Comicsgate. And that is why right there, that's pretty much the smoking gun of why Comicsgate is against social justice. It's not about the comics. It's not about the comics being good or bad. It's because they need a convenient enemy that they can blame all of their failures on. And so failed comic creator Richard C. Meyer, soon to be not a comics creator,
disgraced,
going back to disgraced,
unsuccessful comics creator.
Yeah, they fleeced people out of money by crying victim about, oh, SJWs, you're doing this, and then flat out lying and getting caught.
And calling us SJWs because we hold him
we prove them wrong.
We're holding him to the standards he says he wants to hold regular comics too.
By the way, Ethan admitted that it was a lie. Ethan actually came out and said, "Oh, Renfimus didn't try and dox Nurkish," but then he threw somebody else from War Campaign under the bus, and I guess Praetorian was that guy, because I only know because he showed up in some other chat recently. And I was like, "Oh, Praetorian," and it's like, "Oh no, that's one of the former War Campaign guys."
Water closeters.
I would kind of like to see what he has to say about what was going on in there, though. I don't know if he would come on with us, but I don't know if any of you guys know him. But we kind of wanted to wrap up just by mentioning that stuff about.
I know him. I'll ask him.
Honestly,
I guess
we're kind of done with that. It's too late. I'm already tired of it.
Yeah,
I'm tired.
Topic over there. We're done talking about
it's
it.
Also tiresome.
Yes.
Speaking of which, I have to go work, guys.
Yeah, we were about to wrap up anyways. I think I sprung this on you. I didn't tell you we were going to start.
Like, dang it.
This tends to be how our shows go. As we get off on a rant. We're getting off on a rant.
But I wanted to go. I wanted to go after Richard in a video today because he just did this video, just white knight. It's such blatant, pathetic white knighting for a guy who is guilty. For somebody who is
transparent white knighting. It's a PNG.
But yes, but there's
PNG at this
transparent PNG. But there's like no defending anymore, and yet he's going to. That screams of desperation, and that means they're on their last legs.
Almost like you did something yesterday. You sent him a message about one of his videos.
Yes, yeah, I actually emailed Richard yesterday, being like, "Hey, there seems to be a missing gap in one of your videos. Don't worry, I saved it to my channel." And he didn't reply, and I don't think he's going to. He knows he's caught, and therefore he's going to start white knighting for Ethan even harder and more desperately. You can smell the stink of flop sweat in their desperation. Anyways, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. It was very cool to have Diversity in Comics, your boy John Del Arroz for the ladies on because.
For the ladies.
And I was just on your channel like an hour ago or so, and that was a really cool stream, a nice 40-minute hangout with.
Great stream.
Yeah, everyone should go subscribe to Diversity in Comics. Not your boy Zach. The channel is called Diversity in Comics. If you look for John Del Rose actually on YouTube,
it's better just search for my name. Yeah.
Yeah, that comes up first on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to him, or at least check out his videos, whatever you want to do. Check out the last one, especially because I'm in it.
And my game plan's not to white knight; it's to be. I'm going to put out comics like every quarter, like a real
actually making comics.
Well,
can you imagine
some kind of professional or something? What?
You're like a comics maker or something, like a pro. Do you have secrets?
You have some secrets?
I have secrets. Yeah, I do have a web series called Comics Writer Pro Secrets.
You tell me some secrets. I actually watched one of those videos too.
It's about writing for real.
We should rename our channel.
It was like a 4-minute video too of just getting into a couple tips or something.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that once a week and just give some tips. If people have questions, I will answer the questions, and that's
you're wrong.
How to do it.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to
bring toys for children. Buy children's toys.
Well, I know this doesn't get clicks like in the same way, but what can you do?
That's another thing worth pointing out. When we do these videos, our videos about anything about Comicsgate, we're not doing it for any traffic because we know there's no traffic. Going against the grain, going against the community, the fandom.
If we got traffic from this, I wouldn't want it.
We're saying it because like no one else does. We're saying it's just so it gets said. But
one of the things I've always been trying to do whenever I say anything ever, I'm trying to add something people don't normally say.
Somebody also mentioned
some guy.
Jim Tuner says JDA is going to be the new Cyberfrog writer. I actually have plotted a 22-page comic.
Are you going to fix it?
Of Robot Toad, which has nothing to do with it, but this is just my
you offered to fix Cyberfrog.
I have offered to fix it. I could fix the actual one, but I have my own secondary concept, which I actually have a plot, and it's actually a good story. So
be careful of Robotoad, though. I think that name is also taken by Rocco. There's a Rocco's Modern Life skit.
Robotoad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, it does come up right there.
Yeah, when you look for that on the other thing.
Yeah, I'll come up with a new name for it then.
Fixing Cyberfrog is like fixing a car that doesn't have an engine.
Mechanical amphibian. I mean, that's a little wordy, but
that's a little much.
It's not taking. Maybe if you squish it down.
Mechaphibian. I like that.
Yeah, that would work.
Too busy. Mechaphibian, yeah.
Actually, that kind of rolls off the tongue. That's not bad.
It's pretty good.
Oh wait, no, it's Jim Tuner says Ethan stew.
No.
You can't stew over having a concept of a robot.
Spend $8,000 to sue you over the idea of a robotic frog.
He didn't invent the idea. He didn't invent Battletoads.
No, there's nothing new about that concept. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it was really just a knockoff of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, that's so obvious. But anyways, last few things, some plugs. You have that book, Justified. It's on Amazon. Nasser has. What does Nasser have on? What?
Nasser's one that he likes to promote. I think it's called Eternity Nasser. Let's make sure I am right on that.
Yeah, there's a couple others he has on Amazon. Tim Lim's Black Ops just they finished their campaign, Black Ops 2, I mean, so that'll be coming out really soon. He has a bunch of other books. There's My Hero Academia.
Wow, actually,
Trump Space Force.
We're actually promoting other people's works, almost like it's some kind of organization meant to help new creators get the word out.
We could use a movement. So did you where are some other Nasser books?
Duality is another one.
That's right. Duality was the one I was kind of thinking, because I was thinking of the duality of man, the Jungian thing. Whose side are you on, son? just thinking. Whenever I hear the word domestic duality,
until this peace craze blows over.
Yeah, exactly. I just think of that scene with that great guy from Full Metal Jacket.
That was also a video we're going to have to do, is specifically the second part of Full Metal Jacket, and in the movies you should watch to become a good artist video series.
Yeah, that's our new segment, is movies you should watch if you want to be a good artist. We have a bunch of those.
Continuation from the old blog articles we would do.
Oh, Pocket Jacks also has that comic. What's his called?
White Lily,
yeah, and he's like on issue 4 already, so he's pumping out. He's not looking to start. He's already pumping out.
Yeah, he's not screwing around either. So
see, that's a great thing. It's not about like even trying to break in. It's just about continuing the stuff that people have already been making.
Helping to get the word out. That's all we should be. That's all we should need.
Most importantly, on Comixology or Gumroad, you can find literally number one, just about Tim Lim's favorite comic of the entire year.
He said it's fucking good. I read it, and I only read it because Tim was like, "You have to read this."
Tim was gushing of it. Tim was
really the only reason I read it.
He's read it 4 times now or something.
But yeah, it is good, guys.
It's only 20 pages too.
I'm kind of shocked because I never had somebody, like a stranger even, gush about a comic I've made without them being like some kind of psycho. At least maybe Tim Lim's a psycho.
It deserves the praise, I say.
Yes. You know what? Tim Lim is perfectly stable. He's a very stable genius.
Tim Lim owns 5 rabbits. That's all you need to know about him.
He's definitely stable.
Are so adorable.
For sure stable. Yeah, but yeah,
he's not gonna, hopefully doesn't get tularemia.
Yeah, the word getting out though about literally, because really I was starting from nothing and I barely got funded. Very cool friends, very cool supporters of the old shitty webcomics blog who helped just throw money in, and that's how we got the comic funded and it got done. And at the same time, doing that while having Comicsgate essentially trying to deplatform me or unperson me as much as they could, but I don't complain about it. I'm not going to, they completely failed, and I'm not even going to complain about that.
And ultimately, you can't really focus on that. You can't really dwell on the people who are trying to take you down. If you want to make something, you want to create something, you got to focus on creating it.
That's actually a good final note to go out on. You were mentioning, John, that the people who are really, trustworthy in comics are the people who do it with no audience. And that's what we were doing for years and years. I made webcomics just for myself and barely showed them to anyone just because I want to kind of try and make a goofy and it's awful art. I was just drawing circles and floating heads and shit. But I was doing it for myself, and in a way, that's how you just can't get off of comics. That's what a real creator, a real artist is really like. Is they would do it for nobody if they had to. And we've been doing that, but now we're starting to make full-on comics just because
we can no longer take credit for making X.
There's an opportunity to get it out there, though. There's a bigger opportunity, and it's starting to spread maybe, and it's not just leaderless, it's movementless, because there's not even a comics gate behind it, and there probably never will be, and I kind of prefer that. That's a good thing.
That was one of the things holding it back. Yeah,
it's a form of liberty in comics, if you will. So yeah, good show as usual. Unlike Don't Comment, Unshare. Make sure you're still unsubscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. Unsubscribe. And we'll be back some other time with. We're going to do a stream with Nurkish soon at the end of the week, either Friday or Saturday. I'm going to reconfirm with him. So we'll see that, and we might see all of you guys here with Nurkish on at the end of the week. End broadcast. How's the hitting the button there?